I knew it. I just had I had a feeling it was going to happen the moment that I made that other video and uploaded it, and I pretty much did record that video yesterday and upload it within a 24-hour period. I knew they were going to do something like this, and that was, of course, get reveal information and all the excitement and stuff. And so of course now my video is outdated. So we have a lot, well, we don't have a lot to discuss. We don't have very much to discuss because I already discussed the data broadcast Pokemon. No titles were revealed and anything of that nature, so we're good with that. But we do have to talk about 3 episodes in particular. Oh, hello everyone, I'm Dustin Benzel, and welcome to another Pokemon XY anime discussion. Woo! Sorry about that, I totally forgot that I didn't do my introduction. So, anyway, as I said, today we're going to talk about 3 episodes in particular that have a lot of information. First I want to discuss a little bit about the Rotom's Wish episode that aired. And this isn't going to be a review since I haven't actually seen it, and based on the circumstances within the episode, I would only watch this episode if I was forced to watch this episode, if people really wanted me to say how I feel about this particular episode, because looking at the images provided for the whole entire episode, as interesting as it looks, there's one deep problem that I have with it, and it seems to be one of those episodes that really shouldn't have come into existence to begin with. For the most part, I was half right and half wrong. It is a lot like Back to the Future, but the problem is it wasn't as Back to the Future as I thought it was. In fact, it was a lot closer to what actually happened to Back to the Future, where Biff was the helper with George McFly or whatever, and then they go into the past, and then Marty goes back into the past, and he starts to fade because George McFly wasn't there for Marty McFly's mother and didn't punch Biff and didn't impress her. I think it was, I don't know what her name was, and it was a lot more like that because that was the time frame. I thought this was going to be a lot later. I thought this was going to be a lot longer. I thought it was going to be a massive time jump or whatever, but that wasn't the case at all. Apparently, from what I've heard from other people, it only is 10 years. Like, basically, it's only a 10-year difference and stuff, and which is surprising me because the characters look so... One of the characters looks very old in comparison to his younger self or whatever, so I don't know, but basically the reason why I have a problem with it is because only 5 Pokemon was introduced into the episode. Only 5 Pokemon ever showed up. There was no multiple of other Pokemon, just 5 Pokemon in total, and only 2 of them belonged to the main cast. The other 3 Pokemon did not belong to the main cast at all, and I hate these episodes so much. I don't care how fun or exciting and interesting it is. All I'm going to say is that this is completely filler. It might be enjoyable for you, and looking at the episodes, it does look like it could be a very interesting concept and episode, you know, with Mantle or whatever I believe is the villainous character, and he is a big honcho character, and the better person is like the butler basically, and then the roles were reversed because this new guy stood up for his aspect, and then Mantle basically becomes a butler at the end, kind of. Well, they're actually bellhops, but you know what I mean. So yeah, it's just, you know, this episode just doesn't look very good. I mean, it does look like it's funny and interesting, and I feel like it makes sense for some people to enjoy this episode, and there have been other episodes where there have been a limited number of Pokemon that people find interesting, but for some reason I don't know why, but it's like the producers of the Pokemon anime told the writers, hey, look, you only have access to Crocodile, Pangoro, Rotom, and of course Pikachu and Dindine. Nothing else can show up. Make an episode based on those Pokemon. That's it. That's all you have access. Because honestly, what I think should have aired at this particular moment, instead of this episode, completely erase this episode completely. What should have aired in this particular episode should have been Noibat development, because Noibat needs all the development it can get. It is a new born Pokemon, and it doesn't seem like it's going to be in any episode coming up anytime soon, especially data broadcast Pokemon. Even though I can't say for sure, because of course it's not going to focus on Noibat, but none of the Pokemon listed in those particular data broadcast Pokemon actually make sense for developing Noibat. Well, except maybe Chespin, maybe Ash and Clement battle Chespin versus Noibat to develop, but that's pretty much it. Diggersby, Braixen, Tyrantum, all these Pokemon are just like so massively, there's a huge distance between it and Noibat. The only other Pokemon outside of Chespin, and that's only because of type disadvantage against Noibat, the only other Pokemon that I can see maybe being related to Noibat is possibly Tyrantum, and that's only because they share a typing, but for the most part I just can't see it. So I'm very upset that this Rotom episode is just about a particular filler episode that has nothing to do with the main series at all, you know? At least if there were filler episodes, the filler episodes should revolve around the main cast Pokemon, showing off their personalities, their characteristics. Honestly, why should, as a viewer of Pokemon, or other people out there, why should we care about some random plight of some situation that's happening that could have easily just not existed, but only existed just to make a particular filler episode? This entire episode, even if you could argue it's fun, it looks at least a little bit better than the Dream Thief episode. I mean, the Dream Thief episode was just a what the hell is going on type of episode, because it was BHM using its ability to manipulate people's memories or whatever the case was. But this one actually seemed like it kind of fit better, and it seems like it was more exciting out of it. But I mean, why should we care about this episode? This episode was the definition of filler completely. There was absolutely nothing in this episode that would make it seem like it was non-filler. There's just no way. There was no new moves. There's likely no character. If the mantle with the crocodile shows up later as a league battle for Ash, and he's wearing his bellhop costume that Mantle wore at the very end of the episode based on these images, I'm gonna be like, what the hell? Because honestly, I'm sure they could have introduced Mantle in a different way, you know. And Ash didn't even get to battle in this episode either, which kind of makes it kind of even more pointless, because you'd think that Ash would at least well, no, I suppose, to be fair, based on these images, Pikachu does use Thunderbolt against the Mantle and his goons and electrifies them. So Pikachu was used, but not really in a very exciting moment or exciting time. So again, not very happy with this episode at all. I'm sure technically it's a really good episode, but I think this probably is a problem of probably bad pacing, probably. If this probably aired after a heavy Noibat focus, and not just learning how to fly and introducing Noibat, but if this was after a heavy induced Noibat episode where it actually battled against a character, or if this happened after Froggy Deer evolved, or happened after something major, not Serena major, but Ash major, or at least something relative to the development of a Pokemon, then I think this episode would probably be watchable in my perspective. But right now, I just do not like episodes where there's only 5 Pokemon or 4 Pokemon or 6 Pokemon in the episode, and the only main character Pokemon that actually appear are the usual ones. If Meowth showed up, if Team Rocket did show up and Meowth was in this episode, it would have been exactly like the Dream Thief episode, because if I'm not mistaken, the only reason why 6 Pokemon showed up in that particular episode was because of a random temple example, probably implying that maybe they were still dreaming or they were still imagining things or whatever. I think it was some sort of meta symbolism there with the temple, because otherwise that temple showing up made no sense. But yeah, basically this was exactly like the Dream Thief episode, and even though these episodes can be classified as fun and entertaining to your random viewer who probably doesn't care about the intricacies of the Pokemon anime, then I'm sure this was a fine episode. Go watch it. If you don't care about the main characters, their Pokemon, and you just want to watch a fun Pokemon episode, this probably was it. But for someone like me who actually cares about the characters that we watch and everything, having this particular sidetrack moment doesn't make any sense to me. This wasn't, okay, well, we need an episode to cool off from all the excitement. Ash caught Noibat. Serena just had her particular Pokemon showcase, so we need an episode to cool off. This is not how you do an episode like that. You want to cool off from the excitement and the action and focus on other characters. Then make an episode where Noibat has some sort of bond with another person's Pokemon, you know? Maybe there's a episode where there's a Pokemon that isn't feeling so very well or whatever, and it can't do something, and have Noibat interact. Show off the personalities of the Pokemon if they're at least not going to develop, you know? But apparently they wanted to break from that. They wanted to break from everything. They just wanted to fill this particular episode. And here's the problem. If this episode did not exist, Jesse's Pumpkaboo would have evolved before the movie, because it is the very next episode. And take this away episode, replace Gir Guys, and then you would have gotten Gir Guys. And I feel like that would have made more sense. But it seems like the producers had to make some sort of filler between these main events, you know, even though Hawlucha was caught, and then the following next episode, Fletchling evolves into Fletchinder. So it doesn't really make any sense, but I don't really want to continue talking about this. I already talked about it longer than I wanted to. But I just wanted to emphasize that I am not happy with this episode at all. So anyway, let's move on, shall we? Let's go into the Gir Guys and Mamoswine episodes. We'll start with Gir Guys. Okay, apparently, I don't know how this happened, because this was only a few hours after the episode aired, but apparently the Japanese Hulu that has the Pokemon XY anime series on there apparently uploaded the episode that just aired like a few hours after, no, basically a few hours, basically, because alright, let's go with 5:33 a.m. was when the episode aired. That's when it was aired. Apparently, Japanese Hulu actually uploaded the episode that just aired, apparently, around 2 hours afterwards. The same night they air. Okay, so of course it makes sense. I was just a little confused there for a moment. So they actually uploaded a preview of the Gir Guys episode, because we didn't get that, because next week is going to be the Diancie movie. So we didn't get a proper preview from TV Tokyo that involving the Pumpkaboo episode because of the Diancie movie. But apparently there is a preview and there is screenshots. Okay, let's go to the summary first, and then we'll talk about the preview. The preview said, Ash and Friends participate in the Gir Guys festival being held in a town they're visiting, which is a festival where Pokemon dress up in costumes. Apparently, based on the preview and what we've already seen, this is Japanese version of Halloween, basically, within the Pokemon anime. However, if the festival gets attacked by a horde of Gir Guys commanded by a mysterious old man, the horde also ends up abducting Chespin, who's currently disguised as Pikachu. I didn't even see that in the preview. Of course, Chespin doesn't actually appear in the preview, of course. Or of the images. It probably does appear in the preview, but not in the... So yeah, that's basically the summary. It's basically Halloween in Pokemon XY anime, even though it's like a few months away from Halloween, like 3 months approximately, 3 months and a half before Halloween. So yeah, this is basically a Halloween version almost. It's a festival and it's Halloween-like. So anyway, based on the shots of the preview, we have the one I showed you in the recent episode that I uploaded, like possibly, well, just a few hours ago is when I published it, but you'll see this video probably like within 24 hours of the other videos. So anyway, we have Ash and Snorlax, Ash dressed up as Snorlax, Pikachu dressed up as Psyduck, of course, which I should have started with, not Ash and Snorlax. We didn't see that. We saw Pikachu and Psyduck. Serena is dressed up as Florges, which is really making me wonder if Serena's going to get a Florges. I would have preferred a blue Florges for Ash, but I won't say no to Serena getting a Flabébé and evolving it. In fact, if that's the next Pokemon out after Eevee, that'd be fine. I would just say that if Serena does end up getting Flabébé, Floette, or even Florges, that Eevee does evolve into Umbreon, because I don't want Sylveon and Florges on the same team for Serena. Just even though they're drastic enough that it would be fine, I just prefer not to. Otherwise, I would prefer Serena with Litleo, which was the Pokemon that I did want Serena with, as well as Chespin, if you remember my videos from a long time ago, like a few months ago. So anyway, Dedenne is dressed up as Corphish for whatever reason. I don't know. I don't know why Dedenne is dressed up as Corphish. Bonnie is dressed up like Ludicolo. Clement is dressed up like Watchog. Sorry, I just noticed that. I didn't even see Clement, and I was like, what's Clement dressed up in? And then I looked over, and Clement was right next to Bonnie, and he's dressed up as Watchog. That's hilarious. A human version of Pumpkaboo actually appears in the episode. Basically, it's a pretty squat, fat, chubby, old man looking, and he has a Pumpkaboo head curl, and he kind of looks exactly like Pumpkaboo. The old man that was said in the summary to be controlling the Gir Guys apparently looks like a butler. He looks like what was Caitlin's butler? Varric. Varric? No. Oh gosh. Dark? There we go, it's Dark. I just thought of it just as the episode or the thing was uploaded. So he's kind of like wearing what Dark is wearing in the games, kind of. Yeah, he looks, well, I'd say he looks, well, no, he looks like a butler. I'm trying to think. He looks like a proper person that you would see like in a manor or mansion, and he'd like be the head honcho. But no matter how much I look at it, he looks like a butler, or at least something of that nature. He looks like Dark almost. Dark's just a lot younger and a lot different. So yeah, like I said, he's just it's like he's exactly working. Or he's dressed up exactly like Dark. The only difference is the person with the Gourgeist actually looks more, not as butlerly looking, but pretty much looks like a butler. Looks like an angry butler, tired of being a butler, basically. Oh, by the way, Braixen isn't dressed up as anything, but it does show up. Meowth is dressed up as Bayonet. I think we've seen that before. I'm pretty sure Meowth has dressed up as Bayonet before. I can't quite remember, and if I had to guess, I'm pretty sure I would point to the fourth generation with Angie, daycare episode. Well, not the daycare episode, but Angie, the daycare person that like had a crush on Ash. She had very short hair. I think Meowth. No, wait, no, never mind. It's a lot sooner. Meowth dressed up in Bayonet in that Ghost episode that had Alexa. Never mind. What was I thinking? Yeah, it was the I think what else showed up? Oh man, hold on. Well, it'd probably be faster to look at images. Hold on, I'm definitely gonna cut this out so you don't have to see it. So I'll be back in a moment when I get some information here. Alright, I'm back, yes. Meowth did dress up as Bayonet in that Comet episode with Alexa, Noivern, Helioptile, Venipede, there's Woobat, as I'm looking at these images. There's also Gengar, but I think that's just James. Yeah, James dressed up as Gengar, Jesse dressed up as Dusknar. It was one of the more interesting Declore episodes just because Alexa was in it. Declore Islands was boring. I hated it. It was complete filler, completely pointless. But I'm not going to lie. The episodes with Alexa primarily were really well done for very filler episodes, so they were at least enjoyable. It was also, I think this episode also introduced Noivern into the actual anime series, so I think it was the first time we saw Noivern. So yeah, it was like this it was the Hero Comet episode in Declore Islands, and Meowth did dress up as Bayonet. So Bayonet is not something new. Anyway, the picture that I wanted to show you is, of course, the one you'll see like right now. And it's very interesting because apparently, based on what we're seeing in this images, Jessie is trading her Pumpkaboo for what likely is another Pumpkaboo. Now, one of the images that I neglected to show up is that there is an image of two Pumpkaboo. One looks smaller than the other, and the smaller one looks like it has a crush on the bigger one because Jessie's Pumpkaboo is so big. I'm assuming that the smaller Pumpkaboo that we see, it could be a perspective issue, but it looks like a very small Pumpkaboo is in love with Jessie's Pumpkaboo. At least that's what it looks like. We also have some. Oh my God, that's James. Oh my God, that's James. I didn't. I thought that was just a random female character that showed up, and then I'm like, oh no, wait, that has to be James. I mean, it could still be another female character, but oh, I wish I could show you that image. I wish I could show you that image so much. Basically, it's basically James cross-dressing, I believe. It makes the most sense. It makes the most sense for it to be James because otherwise, why would some random female character look actual surprised along with Jessie, who's dressed up as a bit Miss Maggie is that I now just realized, with Wobbuffet there, who looks like it's dressed up as something, but I can't. Oh my God, Wobbuffet is dressed up like Sock. Oh, well, I suppose it could be Throw too. Let me look real quick. I'm pretty sure it's Sock though. Oh jeez, Sock versus Throw. It depends on the head. Yeah, it is Sock. I knew it was Sock because Throw has that T-shaped nose, while Sock has that jagged lightning bolt shape or whatever, and Wobbuffet has a jagged shape, not a T-shape, so it's definitely dressed up as Sock. I'm sorry, I'm just noticing these minor details, but James is dressed up like a girl or whatever. Might actually be a Pokemon, actually. Oh, James is dressed up like Gourgeist. Oh my God, oh. No wonder why James looks like a girl, because Gourgeist is a very feminine looking Pokemon. Oh, okay. So I was wrong. James is dressed up like Gourgeist. Okay, I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just noticing these minor details. Okay. All right. Woo. Okay. Anyway, like the picture as I showed is trading, so it seems like that Jessie is trading her Pokemon. And based on these images, actually, it's not a woman that Jessie is trading, but that fat Pumpkaboo looking guy, you know. So yeah, so there is trading, and then we actually see an evolution of Pumpkaboo, and we actually see Gourgeist's little pumpkin body, whatever that looks like a jack-o'-lantern almost. We actually see that in the evolution aspect. So yep, definitely Pumpkaboo is going to evolve. Pumpkaboo is going to evolve. Pumpkaboo is going to evolve. Sorry, I had to say that repeatedly because I kept making mistakes during that moment. So that's pretty much it. Oh, geez, this is a bit longer than I thought. Thanks, Rotom's Wish episode. I talked about you for longer than I wanted to. Anyway, that's pretty much it. I will probably be making another video about it, and when we get a Get TV preview, I will probably make a speculation, because I will definitely want to watch this episode, because it looks very fun and interesting, and it's got a lot of interesting aspects to it. So anyway, let's jump into the Mamoswine episode and talk about the summary. The summary basically implies that I was wrong if I said that I think it takes place in frozen caverns, or I acted like it was confirmed that it did take place in Frost Cavern. I apologize, that is not the case. The preview basically outright pretty much says they're basically just on Route 17. It doesn't say they're on Route 17, but let's listen to the preview. As they're making their way towards Anastar City, Ash and friends rent Mamoswine so they can take a shortcut over some snow mountains. On their way to the mountains, they encounter a Six Snover and an Abomasnow that's trying to protect it. Wanting to help Snover, Ash and others split up to search for ingredients to find what? Okay, that's not English. Split up to search for ingredients to a medicine for it. You know, I'm not a grammar Nazi, but at least makes sense, because now I have to somehow think of how that makes sense. Hold on. They're looking for ingredients that go to the medicine to help the Snover. Oh, God. Okay. Whew. However, Team Rocket have been following them into the mountains and sees the opportunity to capture the Mamoswine and Abomasnow. Now, when it says mountains, I know you're thinking, well, Frost Cavern, you know, hey, Frost Cavern. But if I'm not mistaken, Route 17 was pretty much of a mountain range or whatever, and basically just had heavy, deep snow, and you needed Mamoswine to climb. And even if the Frost Caverns do show up, even in a minor aspect, it's still going to be not the Frost Cavern aspect within the games. It's going to be just basically you can find Abomasnow in the wild in Route 17, and it's just going to be one of those type of things. It's just going to be, oh, Abomasnow and Mamoswine are on the same route. You need Mamoswine to cross Route 17 to get to Anastar. Oh, Abomasnow and Snover are found in the wild in that particular area. Let's just make an episode, because this is not the Abomasnow that we see in the games in the Frost Cavern that gives you Abomasite. Oh wait, Abomasite. There we go. I made that mistake before because I thought it was like Absolite, but it's actually Abomasite, not Abomasite or whatever I was trying to make it sound out. So it's Abomasite, and it's because of Team Flare and everything. And while I expected Team Rocket to appear in this episode anyway, I'm disappointed that there isn't a powerful Mega Abomasnow or whatever that's in some sort of Frost Caverns that's making the whole place blizzard, and there's some sort of need to protect it from Team Rocket, and you know, maybe maybe we'll just see Mega Abomasnow in the episode, but that's not what we're going to get. We're just going to get some random Abomasnow Snover Mamoswine episode that we probably could have done without. This one I'll actually watch even if nothing actually shows up, because at least it actually makes more sense than the Rotom's Wish episode, because at least it actually is within the games. The Lost Hotel within the games, there were thugs like Mantle, but basically the Lost Hotel, sure, it had Rotom as well, but the Lost Hotel in the games was more about if you had all the other roller skate abilities, you would just get the final Mega version one that I don't think I've ever been able to perform, by the way, because it's very complicated. I'd have to look up a video to see how it's done, because I don't even know what it's done. So that's the only reason why. But to make an episode revolved around Lost Hotel in the particular fashion they did just doesn't work for me. I think they just wanted to throw in Rotom, despite the fact that we've already seen Rotom multiple times. You know, hey, Oak's Rotom, you know, if I'm not mistaken, Rotom is a 4th gen Pokemon, and the type changes for Rotom, I believe, changed in 5th generation. Before it just changed its thing, but it actually changed its typing in 5th gen, if I'm not mistaken, because Platinum revealed the Rotom forms, and although my internet's not working, so I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure 5th gen introduced the concept of the Rotom forms having different typings along with electric, so Wash Rotom is water electric as opposed to ghost electric, so you know, it just didn't make any sense, because I don't think Rotom got anything and outside of just appearing, and we've already seen Rotom as usual. I mean, Oak caught a Rotom, and even though this Rotom does have a different personality, I just don't, well, it seems like it mostly has a different personality. Oak's Rotom seems like it was a mischievous Rotom. This Rotom does have mischievous qualities, but it's a lot more non-mischievous. The first Rotom we saw with Brock and Dawn in the episode where they were talking about that Gatto thing or whatever, the item, Gatto milk or whatever, the Gatto bar that I think removes status effects from your Pokemon or whatever. At least I think so. Hold on, let me see if I can't at least try. Old Gatto cheese or something like that. Or it's called the Old Gatto, and it removes status effects like I thought. Gatto is French for cake, meaning the full English. This item is old cake, basically. So it heals all status conditions, and it was revolved around that episode. We really didn't need to see another Rotom episode, especially since we saw one of the Declare Islands, and then Oak caught one, and ever since Oak caught Rotom, we've been seeing it, and every time that we see Professor Oak, it's in the particular Professor Oak lectures, for crying out loud, that are airing alongside these episodes. We really didn't need another random Rotom showing up. I mean, Rotom is a cool Pokemon looking thing, but still didn't need to show up. So anyway, I totally forgot why I was bringing up this particular episode. Oh, so I will watch the Mamoswine episode. Ugh, dang Rotom's Wish for making me so angry that I have to talk about it. 35 minutes. Great. This is going to be a standard episode like before. I apologize greatly. Or at least it's 35 minutes now. I don't know what it's going to be like after I edit some things out. Yeah, so like I said, that's pretty much it. I knew my video was going to be outdated the moment that I published it, because I had a feeling that there was going to be new information. I was like, I'm going to wake up to new information, aren't I? And I actually did. So that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching this particular video. So thank you for watching. I'm Dustin Benzel, and I will see you in my next video, whatever that'll be. Goodbye.